Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. We're going to read for the Hierophant Collective. Now, this is going to be probably for those with strong Taurus placements, those dealing with someone with strong Taurus placements, or people who are in that Hierophant energy right now. I mean, we are in the season. So, you could be going through that season. It's going to be kind of igniting and activating certain placements that you have. So any of your fixed placements, any of your earth placements, and then particularly if you have Taurus placements. So we're going to read for the masculine first. Maybe. I do have a little something going on. So I may pause to blow my nose, or if I have like a coughing fit. I've just got a little bit, but I've been upping my remedies, so I think we'll make it through. Okay, let's figure this out here, because we're knocking stuff around. Okay. Ooh, yeah, 4 of Wands in the Tower. So you could be seeing 1111, sequences of 4. You could be dealing with a water sign. Feminines are waiting to create with somebody. Waiting. Where are you? All right. So this morning, while in the car, I heard, or I was talking about how I was raised in Florida, so I was raised around plenty of water. And now I don't, there's a honk out there. Maybe someone was raised in Florida around a bunch of water near like a coast. Or this message could just have something for somebody. But I was telling this person how I used to go in the water all the time, and now I'm scared of it. And for my own process and my own journey, I know exactly why that is. I've timed it up with events that happened in my life of why I started to suddenly become, I was always scared of the water, but I trusted the people that I went in the water with. And I think as a child, you probably just feel freer, you feel impervious, you feel indestructible. And then life happens and we start to close ourselves off to things that actually make us feel very free. And they were asking, well, do you don't like the water? And I was like, no, I love the water. I mean, yeah, I love the water. I am a strong swimmer and it's something that I enjoy, but I pulled away from it. And it is timed up with my parents' divorce. That's when I started to do the evaluation. So somebody could have dealt with divorce, the loss of a paternal figure, or maybe never had like a strong paternal figure. But yeah, my dad was a surfer, and I thought he would beat up a shark and I was safe. Something with stingrays could also be important here. Also, that's Steve Irwin. I don't know his sign. May he rest. But yeah, it's like somebody's passion was lost. There's some sort of thing that made them fear. Well, as I was saying this, the vehicle that pulled in front of us was a poolside maintenance truck or whatever, and the last 4 digits of the number were 4444. So, story time over. Maybe that resonates with somebody. There could be something in there for somebody. So particularly if you are dealing with or operating out of your water placements, but in love, that's what water is. Now, divine love is all 4 elements, of course, right? But there could be some sort of weariness in the heart space, in the cups energy. We have the 2 of Wands. So this is somebody plotting, making a plan, a masculine making a plan to come forward, the world there. And it's all about trust. Do you trust me? It's a 2. This and wands are action. All right. So this could be some sort of conditional cycle, right? Because this wand behind them is bracketed to the top of this tower. So it's like the tower is Scorpionic and Aries energy. It's Mars energy. It's taking that action to leap off the tower before it crumbles, or you'll just go down with it, right? So this is, and choosing also to take this life event, whatever it is, it's an unexpected event, and turn it into something new, building from the rubble. And this is someone going, okay, I'm about to jump into a whole new world for myself. Do I trust? And this is like divine saying, do you trust me? Because that's what towers are. They come from divine. They are divine postmarks or plot points in your life to move you into something else. Please excuse the congestion. I'm going to try and just... Phoebe, Lisa Kudrow, I believe she is January... Is she January 11th? She might be a Capricorn. Could be a Capricorn involved here, or like check your Saturn placements. Yeah, Judgment. Will you make this leap of faith, masculines? The Red Cross is here. This is like, this leap of faith is your salvation, but it's going to be terrifying. It's not going to be easy. So that's up to you. 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. Holla, Hanged Man, Pisces energy. Yeah, are you going to do this? You've been waiting. This is exactly what you've been waiting for, asking for, praying for. It's here. It's here. Are you going to do it or not? 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. That is like that's the ultimate. And I keep getting salvation. There's something about salvation here. And I'm getting the song by Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. This is like reigniting a life in you. In the masculine. And there's like something about being protected. Also, the shark does give maybe the name Bruce. Fish are friends, not food, right? Which is like AA. It's some sort of recovery. It's like, yes, even though maybe you were raised by some sort of masculine who instilled maybe not good qualities, or not good, they didn't give you the best advice when it came to, or guidance, or maybe they weren't there at all. But for some reason, on the masculine side, right, the paternal side, you did not get the instruction manual on how to love, on how to be vulnerable in love, how to express love, right? So you could have been raised in like a boys don't cry. Hilary Swank, is she a Gemini? I don't know what her sign is, but maybe Hilary Swank, maybe those names are important here. But yeah, because it's like Bruce in Nemo, he's a shark, right? I'm also getting by Clannad. No, not Clannad. The Clan. Clann. It's from John Wick, Virgo energy. Maybe the name is John. All right, wick, also like a candle wick, something about candle magic, or like being romantic, Phantom of the Opera. There's like a lot of romance here, seduction, but which is kind of like a shark going after their prey. Like maybe you were taught to kind of just like view feminines as prey, and it's like fish are friends, not food, right? Maybe you never viewed feminines. You did not get the tools to view feminines as like your friend. They were maybe you just saw them being objectified. And so this is like you realizing and coming to, like, you knew that was wrong. You knew that's not what you wanted, even though it was like in your very nature, just like a shark, just like Bruce. And yes, there's like a bloodlust there in the eyes. I'm seeing like there is this like predatory aspect, but it's like you're tempering. Temperance is Sagittarius energy. It's the crown. It's like you've received some sort of download from the divine. You could have like heard the voice of God, and it was like, wake up. Also, Mothman prophecies, more Virgo energy. I don't know what Laura Linney's sign is, but wake up, number 37. Wake up. I believe 37. Somebody could be 37 years old. That's 10. That's also that's also the number for endings. And so this is like, it's Judgment Day. What are you going to do? You know, you have a choice here. You can always go back. You can stay here. You can stay right here. And that is also in Phantom of the Opera. Stay here, right here, right? Aren't those the lyrics? I don't know. Maybe somebody's a theater geek, or that Scorpionic Energy, Gerard Butler. Maybe the name Jerry. Wow. Okay. Feminines have something to say. Let's see what they have to say. Death, Scorpionic Energy, fell to the floor. There could have also been some sort of like process of emasculation that happened here. The feminines could have struggled with like a maternal cycle, and the masculines could be struggling with a paternal cycle. And together, you're going to heal that shit for the collective, for each other, for yourselves, and for the collective. All right, we have more Pisces energy with the High Priestess. Yes, this is a feminine who was burned here. Check your Neptune placement. And then we have the Ace of Cups, right? Because we have the Chariot, Cancerian energy as well. But we have the Chariot, Neptune's Chariot was pulled by seahorses. Seahorses are also, the males bear the child, right? So there is more about them. Wow. There could be a child involved here, but there is something about, and there could have been like some past cycle. If there is a child involved, maybe the co-parent is like this. And this is what they're doing to your masculine feminines, and you don't like it. There's something like, I'm crushing your head. Like they felt very small. This masculine always felt very small. And the High Priestess here, this Pisces energy, the third eye, like not being able to see clearly, like something about being two-faced. This could be this masculine as well in that Hangman energy, because they're like, they have iron wings. They are not able to fly. They feel so small. They're not able to fly. They have really not had a good representation of love. And this is self-love. Ace of Cups is giving to the self first, giving into that moon energy, that feminine energy. This is a masculine who is really needing to submit, is being called to submit to the feminine, right? You submit to the feminine because the feminine guides in the 5D. They show you the way to your spirit. They guide and they nurture in the emotional space, in the unseen. And then the masculine leads in the 3D, in the physical. They show you how to get shit done. They show you how to activate in that area. And the feminine show you how to, trust the process. It's faith, right? We all have masculine and feminine within us. Same ingredients, different recipes. Woo. And there's the world back here too. I'm getting black hole sun, but I always called it black old sun. Something about like miss singing the lyrics to songs or whatever. That reminds me of the movie The Heartbreak Kid. I believe she is a Taurus. I don't know her name, but I believe she is a Taurus. I don't know what Ben Stiller is. But where she's like singing every single song through all genres, you or your person, and maybe this is something you'll share, because they were not compatible. They were not compatible. He got with her for lust, for chemistry. She's hot. That's it. And the feminine could have like a checkered past here, right? With the High Priestess, they could have some sort of checkered past. That could be in their love life. That's why they're guarding their heart. But in the Heartbreak Kid, she like has her deviated septum from doing cocaine. But she's singing every single song from every genre, so that could be important here. Let's get some clarifiers. Because we do have the Five of Pentacles. I didn't mention this, but we have the Five of Pentacles for judgment. So yeah, it's like, are you going to choose to rise up from this rubble? And it's like the divine's watching you. What are you going to do? And this also always, most things do remind me of Lord of the Rings, but this reminds me of Gollum with the all-seeing eye. But see, there's something about this eye is not way up high. Like, it's very humble. So it feels more divine. It's like a divine eye. It's not like the devil's eye. And this is like, you have a choice here. Gollum, you have this choice. You can succumb to the power of the ring or cast it into the fire. No. Destroy it. It's like, I feel like the divine is like, cast it into the fire, destroy that shit, like get rid of it. Be done with it. Be done with that circle, that cycle. And the masculine, there's one reality where they're like, no, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to keep staying in the cycle. Because whenever we have a choice, whenever there's a tower moment, there's like a split in realities. There's one possibility, that movie Sliding Doors. There are always multiple possibilities. And in one world, in one reality, you chose this route, and in another, you chose that route. Which one are you going to choose? That's the fun part about free will. Trail of Tears in reverse. Yeah, it's like you have an opportunity here to end this trail of tears. Okay, to end this cycle of like, there was a lot of tragedy in the Trail of Tears, of course, historically speaking. 7 is about opportunities. And Pentacles is, that stability. 7 of Pentacles. It's like you can either, in the Rider-Waite, it's somebody, looking at their flowers, their bushes, their plants growing and fruiting. And the fruit in that card is Pentacles. Or the fruits are Pentacles. The fruit is Pentacles. Maybe somebody likes old cars. We have the Thunderbird. Thunderbird also is like, thunder is what you hear. What's that song? Thunder, thunder. Why is that the only lyric I can think of? The one where they're drumming. Drums. It's like the war drums. Counting bodies like sheep to the rhythm of the war drums. By A Perfect Circle. A Perfect Circle, right? There's like, you have a choice between 2 circles here, 2 pentacles, 2 worlds, a lot of earth energy. That's what we're reading for. And also with the Hierophant and the ring, right? That would be marriage, right? So whatever that means to you, however you plan on doing that, whether you're like, oh, I don't want to be legally married. The marriage we talk about here is the union of souls, right? 2 of Cups, the union. So you're so funny. Joint effort. Yes. Joint effort. 3 of Wands. So 3 of Wands is movement forward from that 2 of Wands. But this gives me like 3 of Pentacles, because that is the collaborative effort. Joining hands, more hands make lighter the load. It's working together. And this joint effort is like, whatever. I am the walrus. That was I am a vampire. Yeah, I don't have, for whatever reason, I don't have the tune or the key for the key. I don't have the tune or the key. Someone's trying to like tune into this divine frequency, and they feel like they don't have the key. Now, what is the key? Pipes. There's something about singing here, like somebody's warming up their pipes. Communication is key, so they don't have the words, maybe. This is a message. Ace of Pipes is a melody. I'm also getting, Zelda, how he opens the door with the little flute. Maiden of Shields, Page of Pentacles. There is a feminine here waiting on their love, because we have her pictured with the deer. And the deer, it's Gemini energy, it's the lovers. So there's a lot about 2s. That somebody is betwixt a choice right now. through the fear. Ooh. Eight of Swords. Somebody really wants communication. The Hierophant, thank you. Right at the center of the Van Gogh deck. Van Gogh. Yeah, maybe somebody is traveling. Maybe some people were attracted to the space because that is something I was doing for the last year. But Van Gogh. Van Gogh. What is that? Cut off your ear to spite your face? Van Gogh. Cut off your ear to spite your face. Maybe somebody relied on like their good looks for a while. Or only like based their choices and partners off of looks, lust, superficial stuff. We have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords can represent a past person. It also represents a feminine that is discerning, right? Page of Swords. Somebody is watching, but they're watching and their back is turned. Like they're looking at all these other swords. They could be like looking up or asking people around them for the words. Like, how do I say this? What do you say to someone like this? I see them like showing a picture. Like showing pictures of you, the cure. They see this feminine as a cure. They see them as being, the masculine views the feminine as being very healing. Like their salvation. And they're salivating. It's like they're drooling over your pictures. Not in like a grotesque way. They're just like, wow, I thought I'd been with maybe some beautiful feminines before, like some really attractive, like, because they based everything on lust, they were like, oh, I thought I had it before. But now I feel like they're showing a picture and going, how do you even talk to this? Like, look at this. Like, this feminine is so amazing. Like, they make all the right decisions. They know how to communicate. The Queen of Swords is someone who knows how to communicate. And the Hierophant being here, it's like, I want to be strong for this feminine. I want to represent a union that this feminine, and present an offer of a union that this feminine will accept. Because if this feminine accepts this, the feather, somebody could be like presenting you with a feather, but their hands are bound together. But it's in a very willing way. Like she's given him her hand and he's got it there, and they've got this sort of like, vegan leather straps around their hand, like the unbreakable vow. So this is a vow you're going to be making to each other, something about a teepee. So building a house, but it's like a very simple house. I feel like you're going to have a very modest, I get like a lot of humility here. And that is all about submission to the process, to trust, to your partner, to yourself. Like just submitting to the fact that you have fears, the fact that your ego has been fractured, and that you are not maybe the wisest person in love, right? So this is allowing, because this is like you were betrothed to each other in the 5D. The divine has already like ordained both of you to be together. Page of Wands. So we're getting Ace of Wands, Page of Wands, and this is very new. This is a new way, but it's like coming in with the sunflower. This is somebody who's facing the sun. They're looking for information from divine. A lot of crown chakra, a lot of third eye. Eight of Swords, though. They're organizing their thoughts, right? They're organizing their anxieties. This is maybe an overthinking masculine who's coming in. That's like, which feminines, if you get chosen or pursued by an overthinker, then like, that you are like, I can't even say words right now. That you are the best possible choice, because this is someone who has already thought about every choice. They've looked at everything. Like, look at all these swords. They're looking at all these swords. They're gathering all this information here. And what do we have? How many are here with the Page of Swords? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So 7 of Swords is like very guarded energy. See, they're turning their back. They're guarded. They may seem guarded to the feminine, but they're watching and they're gathering information and they're asking questions, whether they're asking to people around them or the divine. They are getting information in every way they can, right? They could be getting readings done. They could be asking mentors, chat GPT, like they could be looking to every resource that maybe they never would have approached before, because no feminine has ever meant enough to them to do this work. And that's probably because maybe if they did rely on their good looks or whatever, they never interacted with or attracted feminines that were on this type of frequency, where those feminines would just kind of like put up with whatever they presented. They would settle, frankly. Not saying that this masculine is like, but they were acting out of a lower vibration because of what they were taught, and the tools that they were given were pretty shitty, it seems. So it's like the feminines that they were attracting were definitely not of this hierophant, not of this like spiritual, divine energy of union. You know, they were just like, yeah, I'll take whatever breadcrumbs you give me. But the fact that that does not a divine feminine make, right? If you're just accepting breadcrumbs. Because an empress, a divine feminine, will not accept breadcrumbs. A queen of swords, they'll listen to you, but this is like Kill Bill. Also Taurus, Uma Thurman. An Aries energy, Quentin Tarantino. I don't know what Bill's sign is. But yeah, there could be like a Bill, a William, somebody in the past of this feminine that, and there is something about the pregnancy. There is something about, maybe a loss. Somehow children or sacral chakra energy, right? Reproductive organs, somehow sexual energy was, played a big factor in both of these individuals' lives in one way or another, that caused attachments. They were operating out of shadows and they were in a codependent energy. But this feminine, by holding the place of being in this discerning, divine frequency, has activated their masculine to go, oh, I better get it together. I better heal this past stuff. Like, and I feel like they're telling themselves mantras, whatever mantras they need to tell themselves, like fish are friends, not food. It's like, remember your training. Also with the, oh my gosh, Mr. Smith, Hugo Weaving. I was like, I can't forget my boo's name. I just have like a full blown relationship with his voice. I could marry his voice. Maybe somebody has a very nice voice. But I was getting Phoebe earlier because of my congestion. The sticky shoes, you know. Oh, my babies, you know, this the episode where she's got the cold or whatever. But anyway, there's something like very activating about the voices of these two. And that could be like, and the activation of the throat chakra is the mercurial energy. It is the magician. It's Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus. All signs which have been coming up regularly in this reading. And they are the ones that create a new reality. And so mantras, affirmations, those are all about the throat chakra work of affirming a new reality. Because you can create that. You can say, you know what, I'm ready for a new reality. And the universe, guess what, will send you a tower. So some towers they feel like they come out of the blue, even though if we really look at it, we were asking for that change. We just usually don't say, we have no control over when it's going to come in or how it's going to come in. And if we're not prepared for that, or if we're not really wanting that change, our ego is going to go, oh, but no, can I get it? Like, can I do it Monday? You know? And that's where we'll get, you know, We'll go through a breakup. We'll go through some sort of death, loss, ending of a job. Like, we'll have some sort of ending that comes into our life because it's like, you've been asking for this and you haven't been keeping your own promises to yourself. Yes, man. But yeah, I was getting the Matrix, where it's like he plugs in and then he's like, I know Kung Fu. It's like somebody's getting a lot of downloads through this activation, where it's like suddenly it's like, oh, I had access to all this information, all of these skills. I had all these tools right here because I'm the magician. But so it feels like kind of a very quick activation for the masculine. It's been a long, arduous journey for the feminine, I feel, to hold down this frequency. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles, Sand Painter. This is someone getting the skills. And see, they're sort of encasing with the triangle here. The magician is putting the devil in, like putting the genie back in the bottle. Like, no, you are not welcome here. Because they have these sneaking thoughts, like maybe their only value was in looks or superficial stuff, and so that's the type of feminine that they were attracting. But now it's like they've attracted, or this feminine, because of her crazy power, she's attracting this King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. So this Queen of Swords put out some words, cast some spells out there, and said, I want this. I want a emotionally available masculine, please and thank you. And the masculine was like, oh, I wasn't really ready to be emotionally available, but I guess I'll do it. You know, like, I guess if I gotta, I mean, for this feminine, I'll do whatever it takes. And so it's like we have the 8-point suns here. All right, so 8 is all about cycles. It's also the Magician and strength, and the Two of Pentacles. So it's about balancing. It's the infinity symbol. The number 8s could be important. Something about August could be important, right? You could be a life path 8. If you don't know, add all the numbers in your birth date, your full birth date, and you shall receive your life path number. Yeah, there's an ending to withholding. 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. This masculine is going to make an offer of love. King of Cups is bringing in a cup, an offer of love. Because this feminine, through the 5D or the 3D, whether you know this person or not, you're attracting somebody, and feminines, you've attracted this masculine by giving to yourself, by nurturing yourself, filling your own cup, and trusting in the moon, trusting in that feminine energy, that what you are to receive, you have already received, right? There is already a reality that exists where you and this person are together. Whether based on what choices you make through your free will, holy shit, through your free will, while these towers hit you, tells you, I mean, because we're just going in circles until we get off the merry-go-round. So you can choose left, 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 and guess what? You're just going to keep going in a circle. It's when you choose right? When you choose the righteous path. The righteous path is the divine path. And that brings you to the 10 of Cups. So this is 10 of Cups twice, 10 of Pentacles, union. I mean, it's all here. Could be a feminine with strong air placements, a masculine with strong water placements. Or someone who's a feminine who's very good at communication and discerning, and maybe thinks in a little bit more of a masculine way, as far as like more masculine leaning, like they think pretty logically and intellectually. They use their head, because maybe when they led completely with their heart, like that high priestess, that made them, that burned them in the past. And then the masculine here actually bases quite a few decisions off of their emotions, but a masculine who bases all of their emotions off of a feminine process, a feminine element. That's not the word I'm looking for, but that's what I'm going to say, and hopefully you guys can just infer what I'm talking about. A masculine who is too feminine leaning in their decision-making process is going to just go, oh, well, it just felt good. They're going to do things impulsively because it's like, oh, it felt good. Yeah, I bet it felt good. You know, just like drinking and partying and having casual sex. Like, yeah, that feels good. It feels good to just eat a bunch of cookies. Is that the best thing for you? Probably not. So it's almost like this feminine by being, it's just funny because it's like, this feminine has actually activated the masculine in this masculine because the feminine was more masculine leaning, which can get into a pretty, again, just like the masculine can get into a toxic place. It can get into a very imbalanced place when a feminine is led by their masculine decision-making process. But for whatever reason, it has actually helped this feminine hold down a more solitary, like it might have gotten into a pretty toxic or imbalanced place because they were in isolation, so they weren't really socializing, but for whatever reason it worked. It somehow worked because like they were both, okay, I'm getting this, even though they were both operating out of a lower frequency, they were on the same low frequency. So it's like sometimes you'll be on a higher frequency but not high enough that you'll still entertain lower frequencies. You're still not on the same frequency. So for some reason, you both were on a low enough frequency. It was not, and it was still like in a karmic way, as part of your dharma, it was still a divine frequency, even though you were operating out of a lower frequency. I hope that makes sense, because that's news to me. But it somehow worked where it's like the feminine showed this masculine, even though, and now that the masculine is activated, the feminine is really going to be able to dip fully into their feminine. They're going to feel safe enough and stable enough. They don't have to make all the choices. They don't have to lead the way. They don't have to do everything in the 3D. They can truly activate from that place that they had to like almost, okay, so I'm getting the movie What Dreams May Come, where Robin Williams has to go into like hell to get his wife, to like activate his wife. So it's something like that, where it's like the feminine almost had to dip into and go into hell. Also, again, more Keanu Reeves, because I'm getting Constantine, like going into hell. And he does go in there to find her twin. So there is like, the twin play is here, Gemini energy, Virgo energy. It is very mercurial. It's the magician. It's like, but with the magician makes it look like it's a magic trick. But there's a lot of technique and planning, and they always know what's going on. So I feel like this feminine, this was not an accident. This feminine is extremely powerful. That's not to say this masculine is not powerful, but it's like this feminine was the key to this masculine opening this door, the doorway being their crown chakra, and really opening up to tempering themselves, to strengthening themselves, to forging themselves into the true frequency of divine masculinity. Because this feminine knew what they were doing. They're like, I have to go get my masculine. I have to go get him because he's in hell and he's going to stay in that cycle. Because depending on what you believe about heaven and hell, these could be just versions of ourselves where there's heaven and hell on earth, right? You're in that same cycle of like self-deprecation, right? Sabotage. I kept getting depreciation, like something about a house, like depreciating, like, just like the value, your value is depreciating. And it's like, there's something about that. So I don't know, maybe somebody is doing something with their house. But there is movement with the 2 and the 3 of Wands. But we have free will. So it's like, which way are you going to move? Because in what Dreams May Come, Robin Williams, he does go into hell, but it is inevitably the wife's choice, right? It is the wife's choice. And And yeah, there could be a son involved here, or a daughter. Like there could be children involved here that are like playing a key role to these two coming together somehow. And again, that could be children that were lost. They could be in like another realm, or they could be in this realm, but there is something about them being. And I feel like What Dreams May Come, if you haven't seen it, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything more, but like definitely go watch it. It is like one of the most ultimate twin flame films. It's really it's quite a beautiful film. I love most of the things that Robin Williams has done, if not all. So I can't think of anything offhand that I don't like that he did. And he is a Gemini Cancer cusper, I believe. May he rest. So there's a lot of intuition here and a lot of discernment. Because if you had a fractured intuition from childhood, from, breaking karmic cycles and, serving an ancestral line that was not good, for lack of better terms right now, you're going to where did I go? Wow. That was weird. I just completely drifted into another place there. You could be getting deja vu a lot, or just getting like moments where you're like completely exhausted. Know that that is your person. Recognizing the work that they have to do, and them also cluing in to the fact that they're on a twin flame journey, whether they have the words for it or not. They feel it. Yeah, I don't know where that message went, but hopefully there was something in here for you, collective. And happy bull gang season. Any of my Tauruses out there, please either say what placement you have Taurus in. If you are a Taurus sun sign, please comment with your birthday. All right, May 18th here. Any May 18th Tauruses out there. Yes, claim this below. Claim it in your heart. You don't have to claim it below, but claiming it makes it more real. Not just for you, but for the rest of the collective. So, if you'd like to know other ways to help contribute and support this space, everything you need to know is in the description box below. And until next time, I wish you well.